Hello, I'm Joseph Morales, Associate Director for Strategic Initiatives and Partnerships in the Office of Inclusive Excellence. I'm sitting here with Dr. Carol Burke, Professor of English in the UCI Department of English. Professor Burke, thank you for being with us.
You're welcome.
Please, could you tell us what diversity, equity, and inclusion mean to you?
Sure. Most of my work has been on members of the U.S. military, and I have tackled this issue in a number of ways, in racial inclusion, but also, and probably even more predominantly focused on gender inclusion. When you're talking about the military, you're talking about a community that has a long history of hypermasculinity, has never had anything equal to 50-50 male and females. And so the issue of how women enter and integrate into that culture has been the focus of much of my work. And what I noticed starting when I started collecting military culture and military folklore was that these traditions, and that was in the 1980s, these traditions often would build cohesion and morale, but only among the male members of the community, which is pretty inefficient when you're talking about a gender-integrated force. You want to build cohesion at the local level that includes, if they're mixed units, that includes both men and women. And when you have marching chants, for example, that you teach recruits that are highly misogynistic, you're really sending the message to women in uniform that you don't really belong and you're outside. There's an inner group and it's exclusively male domain and you're on the outside of it. And so I began very early collecting all kinds of marching chants. I have the largest collection in my archive of anyone in the country on military marching chants. And I even collected some as early as World War II from women's groups before they, whack and wave groups who were training, before they were integrated into the main Navy and Army. And interestingly, just a little sidelight of this, I did all the collecting expecting scholars like me would request this information. I got many more requests from screenwriters than I got from scholars who were interested in having varied marching chants in the films that they were making. And but what I did was I looked at those, how they functioned, how they defined what a true group of brave soldiers or sailors were, and gradually, not just because of work that I did, but work that many scholars have done, and changing times and more integration of females in the armed forces, things have changed. Not completely, and just as racial integration has worked at the lower ranks, but it's still a work in progress at the upper ranks. But women they came in integrated with the regular forces from their all-female units in the 1970s. And it's taken a lot of time before they have been truly integrated. But things like lifting the combat exclusion for women have helped. And also looking at these cultural practices that were inherited from previous times.
Professor Burke, thank you so much for sharing your insights into inclusive excellence.
You're certainly welcome.